in this national seminar, we tried to keep all possible themes to cover each and every aspects of this biodiversity, to disseminate knowledge among the faculties, among the researchers, among the students, towards the conservation of biodiversity, which is much needed in this present era. About the Kisan Mela 2022, we wanted to bring farmers, any grassroots innovators, entrepreneurs, startups in the common platform to give them a recognition to the society, because those who are new startup in this area or maybe from other part of Northeast, they need this kind of platform so that they can showcase their products or their innovation, whatever it is, to the society, and they can get the recognition. That is our main motive of this Kisan Mela. Basically, this project deals with societal development aspect, where we'll be doing cultivation and vermicompost production in the farmers' aspect, so that a new entrepreneur startup can be produced from this project, and that is the main objective of this project. And I'm very much thankful for DBT, Department of Biotechnology, Government of India.
The most important thing about this Connect is that biodiversity is something which is, which is a gift to us in the Northeast, especially when you look around Garo Hills. It is something which hits you in the eye. But a university functions not just in disseminating knowledge, but the cultural traditions rooted in practices which are centuries old. Our ancestors, the indigenous people, have protected this planet, they have protected this earth, they have protected this region. That's why you have sacred groves, you have sacred forests, because our culture is deeply steeped in the natural produce. And our body, we are all organic, we are all biophotonic. We are people who have to be rooted in, in the earth, and we have to live in a very beautiful, biodiverse environment, and that is being destroyed. And this hub and many others which are functioning, they're putting together their effort at preserving this culture, this tradition. And every plant is medicinal. There is magic in the roots. It is something that our next generation has to get. So I cannot emphasize enough the greatness of every little effort to put it together. And here we have with us presently, we have with us a national coordinator for honeybee and pollinators. As you know, if you're aware of what is going on in the world today, it's the honeybee which is considered the most important. If you were to look at, it's not humanity which is as important as the honeybee, because without the honeybee, mankind is facing immense, starvation in the future. So it's a system that works together, an integrated system, and we need to put that back, and we need to preserve it, we need to look after it.
I would like to propose 4 ways to improve conservation of biodiversity as we take part in the presentation and the discussion during the 2 days national seminar. Number 1 will be to stress on the government to enforce legislation to protect the biodiversity. Governments have the power to control what is done to the habitats within our own country. Legislation that protects natural habitats by outlawing development, harvesting of natural resources, or other human exploitation has a huge impact on maintaining natural biodiversity. Additionally, laws protecting specific species like the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, the Indian Forest Act of 1927, and the Forest Acts of state government and the Forest Conservation Act of 1980 help protect animals and have already been impacted. Protecting habitats before they have been altered is the best form on biodiversity conservation and is more successfully implemented by government regulations. Point number 2 will be to reduce the climate change. As we know, climate change has disastrous consequences for all living things on Earth. We use huge amount of fossil fuels which directly cause climate change. We need to move away from fossil fuels and looking towards alternative energy sources and natural or sustainable products. Reducing the effects of climate change requires a worldwide effort. Number 3 is sustainable living. Sustainable living is something that we can each choose to do on a daily basis, whether it be by taking shorter showers, switching off the lights and the fans when we do not use them, also including electronic gadgets, riding a bike to work, or buying eco-label products helps in reduce the amount of resources we use.
The National Seminar on the Conservation of Biodiversity and Kisan Mela, together in this campus, and today we are going to discuss the informations, whatever we have in the biodiversity term. As I know, as I experienced after joining in the Meghalaya, the conservation of the biodiversity, it refers to the protection, upliftment and management of biodiversity in order to derive sustainable benefits for present and future generations. Not only for present generation, also for the future generations. And main objective of the biodiversity conservation to preserve the biodiversity of species, and I can say Meghalaya as well as Northeast is richest area in the country. Not only the richest area in the country. Another word is the sustainable. The sustainable utilization of the species and the ecosystem. Look, we know ecosystem is a reciprocal relationship between environment and plant, or you can say the living things. And the third thing that is also very important, to maintain life supporting system and essential ecosystem process. Why we are discussing about the conservation of our biodiversity? Because there is a gap between the requirement of the human beings and total production.
Now, I would like to request all the dignitaries on the dais to release the product from Biotech Kisan Hub, Northeastern Hill University, Tura. Stevia, which is a natural sweetener used instead of sugar, and vermicompost.
The institutions like Nehu, these institutions like CAU Imphal, they have also campus in this Tura. There are KVKs. So what is the topmost requirement? The topmost requirement is the disease-free, virus-free, healthy planting material is the topmost requirement for the entire MEH region. This is the first that we know. And then second one is introduction of the varieties, indigenous varieties, which has been developed by either of the institutions, either IRI, IHR Bangalore or Pantnagar or other institutions. Why we are relying upon the private companies which are having the exotic varieties? We should rely upon our indigenous material. And this is the reason that the Biodiversity Authority of India is continuously denying, they have not allowed the introduction of bumblebees species from the Europe. Thereby our AIC center at Solar, YS Parmar University is working. They have collected indigenous bumblebees from Himalayan region and they are working on a very advanced stage. That because we have to answer the pollination management under protected conditions. If we are growing tomato inside the greenhouse or net house, open field, tomato is a highly self-pollinated crop, but it is all air-assisted pollination is there. But when the same crop is being grown under protected environment and where there is no air movement, under that situation, which is the most efficient pollinator, honeybees usually do not like because there is no nectar, only the pollen is there. But bumblebees are the best pollinators for the tomato crop or cherry tomato crop because of their specialty of work that is called buzzing. So this is the specialty, they are doing buzz pollination and thereby we have already started work. We have also started work at our Redji Fema Center in Nagaland, which is leading on doing the research work on stingless bees. And the honey collected from the combs or the apiary of the stingless bees as a specialty, the value, if the common honey coming out from the Apis mellifera, if the farmers are getting 100 rupees a kg, then the special honey coming out of this stingless bees can fetch more than 1000 rupees a kg. So this is all, whatever is happening in northeastern states is a specialty we can go. And in future, we can develop horticulture, agriculture in a planned way. We can develop agrotourism. Pollinator gardens are required to be developed because all the forest areas may not have the trees or plants or shrubs or climbers which are having sufficient food for the honeybees and pollinators. Very good.
ये महीना में नाशी किया है वाइन तोड़ के दिए
Local ornament.
अब इसमें से सबसे अच्छा कौन सा है आप बता सकते हैं? Okay, very good. Good efforts, very good. आप बताइए, देखिए दो तीन, एक तो जंगली मक्खियाँ हैं, डॉर्साटा है, सिराना इंडिका भी वाइल्ड में होगी अवेलेबल, स्टिंगलेस बीज है, किसका बनता है? ऑक्सिस। ओह, फिर तो आपके पास सिराना या मेलिफेरा के होंगे, डोमेस्टिकेटेड है, दो ही होंगे फिर। डोमेस्टिकेटेड का है फिर तो ठीक है, वेरी गुड।
Dr. Balla Singh is expert in this area.
Good efforts.
But you can also take the benefit of Dr. Balla Singh.
bamboo soup, guava, cherry, karonda, lemon, karonda juice, lemon juice, organic.
Karonda का बनाया? Good. बहुत अच्छा। This is the